Okay, so we are going to be getting schnasty today with the Wilbur Soot a review from his girlfriend here, his ex-girlfriend. What's her name again? Shelby Shubble. Shelby Shubble. Why do all these Minecraft YouTubers have these Bing Bing Wahoo names? I'm not a fan of it. I get it's because they're like kid YouTubers, I guess. But it's Wilbur Soot, Tommy Innit, Shelby Shubble. What else are there? Is it Tubbo? Tubbo? Is that one of them too? And then there's another one that Tubbo went after, I think. It's all very bizarre. It makes me very uncomfortable. It's like Thought Slime. You know Mildred, Thought Slime. Scrimblow, Bimblow, yeah. It's like his kind of humor. Their kind of humor, sorry. Their kind of humor. Mildred. Anyway, we're gonna watch this. See what we think of it. Obviously, everyone probably knows a little bit of the story at this point. Everyone's heard the biting memes. So we'll see what we think. We're going into it, trying to be as unbiased as possible here.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. We are in emo.
I believe her personally. I already believe her.
Today, and
I already believe her.
I'm gonna go.
I believe everything she says.
Yeah, it was very, very low. There's no need. It felt weird leaving you in silence, but I'm here, so. Hello. I want to talk about something today that I'm very nervous. I feel sweaty. I had a sweater on. I had to take it off. I'm going to try and I wrote down pretty much everything I think that I want to say to keep track of sort of all the points that I want to make sure I don't forget anything. So I will be reading from something.
What do you mean, don't read out? What do you mean?
A good portion of the time, but not 100% of the time. And I just wanted to make sure I got all of my thoughts down in words ahead of time. I really like writing down my thoughts. So I did that. Oh,
she's got extra rows of teeth. Like a shot. No, that's such a... Well, guys, why are you so mean to her? Why are you being so mean to her? What's your problem? Guys, please make a good impression. Don't need to... Oh, okay.
Can we turn ads off today? How do I make that happen for just today?
Oh, I see what you were saying.
Should have had that.
I'm retarded.
I don't know how to make that happen. You know what? That's just gonna have to be that way. I'm so sorry.
I've changed it. Shh.
I'm all good. Yeah. Okay. Today's just gonna be talking. I'm just gonna start reading from what I wrote and go from there. I have a really big coffee. I'm gonna take a swig.
Epic coffee drinker.
And I have my water, and I'm gonna take a swig of that. I have always liked telling my different experiences that I've had.
I believe her personally. I believe her.
In dating, because it feels important to me to share what I've learned.
This Wilbur guy sounds like bad
help
news.
Other people to not make the same mistakes that I have before. I'm 30. I've dated a lot. I've gone on a lot of dates. I keep trying. And it's unfortunate that a lot of my dating history, there were a lot of bad people that tried to manipulate or control me. But that's not to say that every person that I've dated has treated me poorly.
Wait, she's 30? She's 30? But, so how old's this Wilbur guy? How old's this Wilbur guy? I thought these were all like... 27. Sorry, I read chat. Stylo gaslit me. I missed what she said, and Stylo gaslit me. No, but for how old are these people? I thought all these Minecraft YouTubers came up in like the last couple years, and they were all like 19. She is 30. He's 27. Oh, she's 30. He's 27. Dude, that's crazy. I thought these were all like children. I thought that's what was. I thought this. Let's go back. Let's hear her age. I'm not believing this 30 claim.
Feels important to me to share. I always liked telling my different experiences that I've had in dating, because it feels important to me to share what I've learned and maybe help other people to not make the same mistakes that I have before. I'm 30. I've dated a lot.
Yeah, she's 30. What the fuck?
I keep trying. And it's unfortunate that a lot of my dating history, there were a lot of bad people that tried to manipulate or control me. But that's not to say that every person that I've dated has treated me poorly. Some people just weren't the right people. And speaking out about my bad experiences has never...
Well, Stylo's got something against this woman. I don't understand why, personally. I think she seems really, really great. I really like... I can't just sit here and do the, oh... Yeah, I believe her. Yeah, I can't just sit here and do that this whole time, can I? Let's try and actually listen to what she says. Okay.
Important as it does right now, because silence has always brought me peace, and this time it feels like my silence is not keeping my peace. It's only keeping somebody else's peace. And I never thought that I could be the kind of person to end up in a situation like I did. I never thought that could happen to me. And so for me, this is important because it could help anybody else see the signs sooner than I did, or hopefully avoid a similar situation entirely, because the truth is it was dangerous. There were a lot of things wrong in this relationship that I endured some pretty terrible treatment. And I might touch on some things here and there about that, but if I feel like it's important to the overall context. But what I want to stay focused on is this specific issue, and the things that happened matter-of-factly, and the things that people saw and witnessed in our circle. It took me 10 months after to heal, and I spoke with multiple therapists and tried different forms of therapy. I tried somatic therapy.
So how long were these people together? Do we know that?
That one was actually really good for me. Because that one actually helped me release a lot of built up anger I was having over the last year. But the anger that I was feeling was for myself, because I felt like I should...
But it's not a very long time at 30, really, is it? I feel. It's not really a crazy long time.
Better. I felt so stupid at myself for sort of just staying through all of this.
You didn't really stay that... Like,
and
it's 10 months.
I shared my story with a lot of friends after I started talking to therapists, and I was like, so this thing happened, and I wasn't really sure. It just seems weird now to me looking back, and all of them told me exactly what was happening in the words that I was too afraid to use. And I was being hurt in my last relationship.
Yeah, some of this was long distance, I believe, as well, right?
And it took me all of that time to see it through that lens. I even posted an anonymous story to Reddit that I have now deleted with an anonymous account. But in posting that, I found a dozen other stories that were exactly like mine, exactly the same way. And all of the comments said exactly the same thing. And I was so mad at myself because I was lying too. At a certain point to protect this person, because I knew that if I told my friends the truth, it'd make them look really bad. I didn't think that I would cry, and I practiced saying all of this, and I didn't cry, but it's easier to practice it.
Well, well, that's not really saying much. Like, I don't think it's expected or normal for you to spill every single negative detail of a relationship to your friends upon it ending. Especially not if you've got, like, mutual friends or something, right? Like, yeah, you should obviously talk to people about it, especially if there's stuff you're upset about, but it seems pretty crazy to be like, oh yeah, I didn't say some stuff because I knew it'd make him look bad. It's like, yeah, I'm sure there's probably stuff he could say about you that would make you look really bad too. I imagine there were usually when you're in a relationship with someone, you see them in kind of compromising moments. Yeah.
When no one is listening. But he always cared more about how it looked, and that was really important, not what was true. And it was really soft.
Well, saying most women do that is a massive slight against women, because that is one of the most disgusting behaviors, I think. That is pretty wretched. Especially if you've got mutual friends and you just turn around and go, oh, here's everything bad that ever happened. Yeah, that's fucked. That is actually fucked.
When I hear about physical abuse, I think of hitting. I think of hitting and punching. So I thought that this wasn't violent enough to be abuse. I thought that it was just like a constant accident that he kept hurting me. But he's not hitting me. And it didn't start as something that he did to hurt me. He had this habit of biting, which is so weird to me now, but he said that he had had this habit since he was a kid, and even his mom said that that was true. And he said it was just affectionate, and that might have been, I mean, I think that might have been true maybe at the start, but I also feel that I have good reason to believe that every part of it was a lie, but that's just my personal opinion. And I had no problem with
girlfriend complaining about relationship to male friend is how my boy got cheated on, says Deeperama. Is that the one where you were considering getting even? Okay, I was about to read that comment, but I will not.
Just biting, that isn't even the most uncommon thing. But he did mention something early that I should have taken as a red flag. And he wanted to make sure that I was okay with him biting me, because he didn't want me to come back later and say that he abused me, which I thought was really weird considering he had never hurt me before. And so why would I call it abuse? And why was...
So wait, he asked if it was okay?
He thinking about that. And I thought he was being sweet, checking...
Because it's something that if he did it unprompted without consent, it could be... Okay.
On me to make sure that I was still comfortable. But of course I was, because he hadn't hurt me. And why would I think he ever would? And then he did for the first time by accident. And I don't specifically remember the actual first time that he bit me too hard by accident, because I didn't think that it would be significant. I thought that it would only happen once. And he started biting me more and more over a period of time, sort of throughout the whole relationship, and accidents of him biting too hard and really hurting me.
Okay, so bro is a biter. Okay, yeah, well, a weird little freak. And you said you're okay with it. Dude, come on now. Is this really it? Is this the whole thing, bro?
Happened more and more frequently. But he always seemed genuinely sorry, and he decided that he didn't want to keep accidentally hurting me. So we were going to use a safe word, so he could learn where my limit was, where my pain tolerance ended. And saying that out loud now doesn't sound like, that's not very sound logic.
Wait, how's that not sound logic? So I maybe should explain. I don't. That made sense to me. I'll take it back. I mean, I guess we'll give that another go, because that made perfect sense to me. He wants to bite. Bro is a biter. He doesn't want to bite you to a point where it's gonna bother you. So he's asking you to... He's setting a word for you to say when it's getting too much. I don't... Okay. We'll give it another go. We'll try it again, and then maybe she'll explain why it doesn't make any sense.
Hard and really hurting me happened more and more frequently. But he always seemed genuinely sorry, and he decided that he didn't want to keep accidentally hurting me. So we were going to use a safe word, so he could learn where my limit was, where my pain tolerance ended. And saying that out loud now doesn't sound like that's not very sound logic. But at the time, I thought he cared about not hurting me. But in reality, it's like, why are you biting so hard? And why do you have to bite so hard? And it shouldn't be that hard of a problem to stop. That shouldn't be that hard. And he disguised...
Okay, but clearly he wants to do the biting thing. He's asked if you're okay with it. You've said yes. And now there are times where he goes too hard on it. And so he says, okay, well, we'll set a safe word to stop me from doing that, I guess. But like, bro's a freak. This is like wretched behavior. But I'm not seeing the abuse right now. I'm going to be real. I don't get it at the moment. Okay.
I used it as this really quirky part of our relationship and was so comfortable sharing it with his friends to the point that he would do it in front of them. He thought it was this really funny story to tell and a good bit to take my arm and bite me in front of everybody until I literally shout in pain. And then I have to laugh it off because I'm so embarrassed and I don't want to cause a scene in front of all of our friends. And I'm sure everyone was a little bit uncomfortable.
Like, you were going along with this for a long time, though, no?
But as long as I was saying that it was fine, nobody really felt like they needed to be concerned, and that's not anybody's fault because I was lying. I was lying, and it wasn't fine because I would go home later, and I'd tell him how uncomfortable I was, how much I didn't like being hurt all the time. And I needed him to really stop biting so hard. I didn't like it.
Yeah, did she not use did they not have like a safe word on it? I thought that's what she said. Did she not use it?
And I tried telling him over and over again because he asked him to stop again.
If you communicate a clear way of telling each other something and then you don't use that, like, yeah, the pre-existing, it's not on the other person for not realizing the pre-existing agreement didn't stand. Is that crazy? That doesn't seem crazy to me.
Time he said, this is who he is. He isn't going to change. Those were his words. And I remember a lot of specifically his words about certain things, especially at the end, because I'm good at remembering words. And especially his wording, I became really good at remembering because he was constantly contradicting himself. And I would notice, but most of the time it wasn't worth picking a fight over. But he would fight me on it sometimes because I would point it out. And he would insist that he had never said the thing that he said. He definitely did say. And then he would say something like, how are you so sure you're remembering correctly? Why are you always right? And he definitely said the things that I heard him say, and other people heard him say.
Well, so this is just nothing. Like, who knows what happened here? She's just vaguely describing a story where they fought in an argument over what was said previously. Like, yeah, everyone's done that. Literally, everyone has done that.
He had now at this point weaponized the safe word and was using it to ensure that I was hurt and on a constant basis.
Wait, how is he weaponizing the safe word? I don't understand. How was that being weaponized? She hasn't explained that, has she?
And he wasn't sorry anymore. I couldn't even tell you the last time he had apologized for doing it anymore because now sometimes he would bite me and I would yell out the safe word because it hurt so bad and he'd clamp down even harder.
Okay, there we go. Okay,
just for a second, just for good.
Okay. If he was doing, yeah, that's obviously a little bit psychotic if he was doing that. Okay. That's some. Well, I mean, it was already psychotic anyway. The biting's already like you're already a freak, but that's bad. That is abusive. Yeah, I would go with abusive if he's doing that. But obviously, yeah, there's no evidence. I mean, but you can't prove this stuff. You would have to see some sort of circumstantial evidence for like something like texts at the time describing the issue that they had. I can't believe there's not one picture of bite marks if you did it so often. I mean, it could be there's no pictures of bite marks. It could be true. But I would want to see at least, like, corroborating texts, you know?
Measure before letting go. And sometimes I'd say the safe word and he'd grind his teeth down on my skin. And sometimes he'd smile after. Like a gloating grin. And during this time,
Nice.
I was filled with so much anxiety all the time that I was constantly nauseous, gagging daily, on occasion throwing up because of the pit that was in my stomach. I never told him about that, though. I was going and running away quietly to throw up in the toilet and rejoin our group of friends. But I felt so unwanted and ignored. And I would tell him that, and then he would reassure me that he wanted to be together and he loved me. He loved me more than I loved him, even. He would always insist that that was true, like that. I love you more. But he was like really serious about it. And looking back, I do believe that the way I was swept off my feet at the beginning of this relationship was 100% love
He's a
bombing.
big Minecraft YouTuber. He's
And
a
we
big
were
Minecraft
friends for a
YouTuber.
time. At least
So
people would
cool.
have thought that, actually. But I use the word friend very loosely because we had actually never spoke to each other outside of group chats we were in together when, like, a handful of times throughout the whole time that we knew each other, but did not talk to each other. So I wouldn't have even called him my friend until he found out I was single, waited a few weeks to reach out, and then we started a friendship. And then that friendship turned romantic. And then he made these huge romantic gestures. He wrote me the most beautiful love letter that I had ever read. He called me his soulmate. He talked about forever 1 month in. He told me he hadn't been in a relationship in 5 years. He thought he could never find love again before he met me. He said he wanted someone to grow with. He wanted to be a dad. He had all his names picked out.
Yeah, I'm listening. Woman manipulating notes here. How do I get a beer like this? I'm taking notes.
And I didn't have a preference because my feeling of it is if the timing is right and with the right person, I could. But if that doesn't work out in time or the time, I'm not super pressed about it. But I started opening my mind up to the idea with him because it seemed.
Yeah, I love how it's not honeymoon phase anymore. It's always love bombing. It's always love bombing. It's abusive now.
To him, and I kept trying to talk to him to figure out where he was later on when I could tell things like were declining, and now all of a sudden he's telling me he's not sure he wants kids at all. In fact, he has never been attached to the idea of kids. And I told him that isn't what he said before. And he said he's allowed to change his mind. And I'm of the opinion that in a relationship, there are a few things that you are not actually allowed to change your mind without letting your partner know. I think that kids is one of them. It wasn't even important to me. And I think marriage is one of them. So I brought that up next. And I asked if he still wanted marriage. He said he wanted to marry me. And then he said, now, I'm not the...
Okay. No, to be fair, it is pretty shitty. She's like 30, right? If she wants to have kids, but not even making a joke, but her time is limited. So if she's wasting 10 months, assuming this guy is good with having kids, yeah, she's right to be pissed off. Yeah, I'm not saying it's fucking abuse or anything. But I'm saying, if you're talking, yeah, trying to bang some 30-year-old woman who you tell you're good with having kids. Like, yeah, that's kind of you're kind of like a shitty person, probably. Yeah.
Quote, I'm not the commitment guy. You know that. I didn't know that. Why are you dating me? In fact, he was telling me the exact opposite every day. He would tell me he still wanted to be together. He wanted to work on all of the problems. He wanted to, like, he wanted me at the end of everything. He did not want to break up. He made that very clear. And I have, though, caught him in lies before, but usually it was small stuff. And I didn't want to, it wasn't anything that ever seemed worth rocking the boat over, which isn't normal for me. I hate lies. And yet I ended up lying for him. So, but he had lied about big things. And he had also been caught lying by his friends numerous times. So this is something that he feels is acceptable to do. And everything reached a breaking point when he was about to leave for an extended period of time. We were not going to see each other very much, a few days out of every few months. And now suddenly he is dumping all of these problems that he has been having feelings about all of this time later. At one point he said he's been feeling this way a couple months. At another point he says he's been feeling this way for 6 months, immediately contradicting himself in the same conversation. And with no time.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like he was kind of a fuck boy, wasting her time. He probably didn't care that much about the relationship and was less into her than he portrayed. I mean, that sounds like what happened, right? Is that a common read on this, do we feel? Are we in agreement about that?
Time to do anything about it.
And
never mind. I'm going to get to something later, but I literally arrived for 3 days for this conversation to happen and then leave. My cat just woke up and she's not usually awake right now.
The response is going to be insane because it's, Minecraft, YouTuber, teenager, child, Twitter, NB artist, audiences, false essay, alligators, procedural generated art ho, BPD. What do you expect? Of course the response is insane. It's super mega, Like the same thing happened with them. They had more Don DRR was the issue because he had this big Twitter artist audience of freak NBs and stuff that came into my chat that day. Just go on Twitter and be like, "Oh my god, you love bombed her! Oh my god, oh, I can't believe you're an evil person! Oh my god, don't you know that that can cause people trauma? Love bombing, being really nice at the start of a relationship, that really traumatic thing that happens to people."
Hi, my love. It's really close to her dinner time. I should have fed her early. So no time to fix any of the problems.
You're right, Kuihman. They have dumbass names like Soot, come on, get real. Exactly, get real. You're like, what do you expect? You're called Tubbo, and you're expecting not to get cancelled for love bombing. You're calling yourself Tubbo online, and you think the Twitter artist NB sexual assault alligator procedural generated art ho BBD freaks aren't going to cancel you for love bombing? Come on.
Sudden, because there are 3 days before he leaves, and he insisted he did not want to break up. So he was expecting me to have a solution somehow magically, and I gave a number of solutions that would have a way forward for us to be together, but he refused to make any compromise whatsoever. And he said that the relationship was starting to feel like a responsibility towards the end. Also his words. So it wasn't a responsibility the whole rest of the time to him. And he was at this point basically flaunting that he would never prioritize me.
Yeah, he seems like he doesn't give
anything.
a fuck. Yes, he seems like he was a shitty boyfriend, didn't give a fuck. Yes. Is this bad enough to be making an expose stream?
She's eating my laundry. Please don't cause problems. And I wasn't even asking for literally even the bare minimum. I was asking for so little. And I was watching him give exactly what I was needing in the relationship all over the place to anybody else who just happened to ask and just wasn't me. So, and he was never going to prioritize me over anything that would give him more fame or money. In fact, he said that himself. That was exactly why he was not going to compromise at all for a solution for us to be together, because he said he wanted to see how much fame and money he could get. And I just thought we wanted to be together. I thought that's what we both wanted, because that's what he was still saying he wanted too. But then he also admitted to me that he had grown to resent me. And I have to be thankful that he said that bit out loud. A lot of these bits he said out loud, because that was the last push that I needed to get myself out. He had grown resentful, which I also pointed out that there was no reason to feel that way. And he admitted that there was no reason for him to feel that way either. I think that it was because I'm someone who can communicate how I feel. But I don't know. I think I have a lot of theories and reasons why I believe things happened the way that they did and why he was lying all of the time. But he was resentful of me, was causing...
Stylo. I think I'm over caring about this kind of cancellation. These guys curate audiences and their friend groups of canceller false alligators. I will shed no tears for the shimble doobers of the world. Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. Fuck 'em. I hate all the PG-13, inoffensive, bland, milquetoast freak, gay, loser streamers that just suck and there's nothing to them. I don't care. If one of these people gets a bullshit allegation, their child audience eats them alive, I do not care. I do not care. I do not care. I only care about Super Mega because the Mac guy did a song.
Chaos in Control super chatted $4.99. $4.99 from Chaos in Control. Keffels Dingleberry and DIY8 Shouty Sucker Bob posting got convicted of bank robbery today. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, I did briefly speak about that before we started this segment. I couldn't get onto KF, so I couldn't see the details. But I've heard. That's pretty funny. I wonder if I can get on yet. I can. Let's have a look. I'll do it in the background.
Causing me physical harm every day, multiple times a day, despite me telling him over and over again to stop. He wasn't going to change, and he wasn't going to end the relationship. He was going to keep hurting me, and it was possibly going to escalate even further. So I broke up with him, and I didn't even want to, because I couldn't even see for such a long time after what it really was that had happened, that he had abused me. And in fact, we left things as we want to be friends, and he can never imagine.
Wait, so... Wait, the bank robbery happened in 2020?
Not speaking to me again. And then he never spoke to me again. Outside of like a couple of exchanges where I needed to ask for my clothes to be shipped. So at least I got my clothes back.
I won't get distracted. We'll cover that after.
Closet full. However, he did throw away all of my other things without saying a word to me about it. Hundreds of dollars of things from my office were trashed without a word. And I didn't block him till 10 months later because I wanted an open door still. I really thought I wanted to be his friend. But I don't feel that way anymore. I do believe he was bottling up so many emotions, and he would never talk about how he felt. I think he even, I mean,
Wait, let me go back. I was reading.
so
Sorry.
those back. I had a whole closet full. However, he did throw away all of my other things without saying a word to me about it. Hundreds of dollars of things from my office were trashed without a word. And I didn't block him till 10 months later because I wanted an open door still. I really thought I wanted to be his friend. But I don't feel that way anymore. I do believe he was bottling up so many emotions, and he would never talk about how he felt. I think he even, I mean, he did admit that he felt like he couldn't say it any sooner. Like,
But yeah, wanting to leave the door open to be friends after he's been like, you're saying that he's been like fucking tearing strips out of you with his jaw. Are you crazy?
there was just no possible way to say how he was feeling sooner than the absolute last possible chance, like not even a chance, because 3 days before he left, that was actually a lie too also. He didn't leave for another week after I left. He brought me in, had this 3-day conversation, he was supposed to leave, and then he stayed for another week before he left with all of the friends that I was also meant to see, but he had lied to me about the dates too.
Listen, all I can say is I wouldn't have bit her. I wouldn't have done that to her. I wouldn't have done that.
But I do believe that that he was bottling up so many emotions that he was taking it out on me physically. I believe there was a moment where he knew that he didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. And instead of just ending it, he tried to push me away any way he knew would hurt me. And he knew all of the ways that would hurt me the most. And he knew he was hurting me. There was no way that he didn't know because of the safe word that he made. And he just didn't care. He was hurting me and he didn't care. And even looked like he was enjoying it sometimes. And I can look back now and I can see all these instances that were really major red flags. There was this one time that he pinned me down and asked me to try my absolute hardest to get him off of me. And I couldn't do it, obviously. And he said something to make the point that he was so much stronger than me that I wouldn't be able to fight him back.
I feel like that's... I heard someone say, I heard Reddy say that's a really common thing, and that happens sometimes.
Fight back against what? What do you mean? You don't say shit like that to people? That's insane. And I was also sexually assaulted by my first boyfriend, and he knew that. He had stopped giving
you and every other
to
woman.
The relationship, and he said that why was because he was just waiting for things to change on their own. He said he also didn't have the time or energy anyway to do the things that I was asking for, but then would constantly make any bit of time and energy for anybody and anything but me. And he would say he wanted more quality time. So then I would try to arrange things for us to do online because we were long distance, but then he would complain that he doesn't want to spend all of his time on the computer anymore. And then we'd be there in person, and all he wants to do is stay inside, play games on his computer, watch movies. He doesn't want to go out. And I'm not saying any of this next part to be mean. He lived...
If it's really pushing your limits to make a breakup, then he should just not do it. Yeah, obviously. I mean, I've said he sounds like a shitty dude. I just don't think this is worth a cancellation attempt. But also, I don't care. I don't care. His audience can eat him alive. I don't care. I hate these people. I have nothing but contempt for PG-13, brand safe, loser, gay, retard, gutless, goysop YouTubers. I have no interest in protecting his career. And I do not care what happens to him. And I hope all of his retarded SA alligator friends eat each other alive. Literally, in his case.
Lived in filth like I have never seen. And I've seen filth. This was the worst. He would spill things on the floor and never, literally never, clean them up. He got an ant infestation once and wasn't going to do anything about it because he said, bugs are normal in British houses. So I had to buy ant killer. And he wouldn't clean his bathroom for months.
That's not true. Bugs are not...
But would constantly...
You get like a spider occasionally, maybe like a spider, or like maybe once in a while you get like a fly come in summer. You you do not just have bugs in UK houses though. That's crazy. Come on now.
Online because we were long distance, but then he would complain that he doesn't want to spend all of his time on the computer anymore. And then we'd be there in person, and all he wants to do is stay inside, play games on his computer, watch movies.
Winner.
He doesn't want to go out.
He won. He owns you.
And I'm not saying any of this next part to be mean. He lived in...
He wants to sit there, watch movies, play video games, and get ahead. Yep, no shit. No shit. But that's why he's a Minecraft YouTuber.
In filth. Like I have never seen. And I've seen filth. This was the worst. He would spill things on the floor and never, literally never, clean them up. He got an ant infestation once and wasn't going to do anything about it because he said, bugs are normal in British houses. So I had to buy ant killer. And he wouldn't clean his bathroom for months and months and months.
I mean, okay, so to be fair, once in a while, like in summer, you will just get like a burst of ants or something, but that's like the sort of thing you might have to, you just deal with then and there, right? You don't, you don't let that, that's not just normal. You're not just like, oh, yeah, that's just the ants. It's like, you deal with that when you notice the problem. It's not just that's normal in British houses. Yeah, don't mind them.
Would constantly complain about how bad it smelled, and I would tell him that's mold. It's mold. He'd complain about being tired all the time too, which I don't know if that was a lie or not, but mold will do that too. But he would insist that it wasn't somehow without having cleaned in months. But it's not mold.
So based. So based. It's like everyone when they first move out, though, isn't it?
He was washing his clothes.
No, that's no problem.
Without detergent. Just it wasn't using that at all. And I don't know for how long before I met him. He was just running it with water.
I mean, the real question is here, why is this a millionaire Minecraft YouTuber not just hiring a fucking maid? That's my issue here.
And hanging it on his filthy kitchen cabinets.
I mean, also he's 27.
And I felt bad. I felt bad because I felt like he needed someone to help him learn how to be cleaner. I thought he just didn't know how. And I listened to all of the struggles of his upbringing, and I was like, he just doesn't know how. Someone just needs to show him.
Well, Asmongold doesn't get a maid because he's too embarrassed to have anyone else come inside his house, right? I believe that's what he says. And he just gets anxiety about that, which is retarded, but that's the reasoning he gives. I don't know what this guy's reasoning is. I can't imagine what this guy's reasoning is.
And then I found out that he said he doesn't clean at all when I'm not there because he just waits for me to get there to do it. And I only found out about that after we broke up because he said it behind my back. I was doing all of the cleaning and laundry for him. Also, I had a separate bathroom. I want to make that clear. I wasn't using that bathroom.
Yeah, she was the bang maid. She was a bang maid. Like, yeah, you got. Sorry. I mean, like, this isn't something to end the guy's career over.
That I cleaned for myself. I had cleaning supplies. I don't think he even actually knew I had cleaning supplies in there. But I had my own bathroom. All the cleaning, all the laundry, all of it, I was paying for. All of the like paper towels, like soap, all of that only stayed in the house so long as I was buying it. I would arrive and there would just not be toilet paper in the whole house. There were paper towels instead. And who knows for how long.
Oh, bet.
I was paying for food more than half the time because he would often push me into ordering food for us, even if I had paid for the last meal or the meal before that. And I'm of the opinion now.
Listen, he's not a millionaire Minecraft YouTuber because he buys triple play, okay?
That I shouldn't have been paying for any food. None at all. But I wanted to at least, I thought I was being equal by at least doing like a back and forth. But I ended up paying for food more often than just going back and forth anyway. And he would do this to his friends all the time too. But I was also paying for every plane ticket and the cat sitter, which cost roughly the amount of a plane ticket to England. And he never offered to help me pay after the couple of times he did come here to visit me, because he paid for the flights that we would both take. But that only happened twice at the very beginning. I have actually had a friend tell me that this is financial abuse, but I don't know enough about that to say for myself. But I was telling him that I couldn't afford it all by myself all the time because I was losing money. I was never able to work properly there, and he wasn't traveling at all to see me anymore, even though he said he would. That was like the basis of our...
Well, I mean, if he wasn't stopping you from making accommodations to be able to work properly while you were there, then I mean, that's kind of on you, no? You should prepare. If you, like, I assume you're working online, you can probably prepare to work away from home, no? She is cute. Let's be real, okay? Stylo will get mad. Stylo's raging right now. Going, oh my god, her shock jaw, her gross shock jaw. She needs braces. She needs a dental surgeon. He's pissed. He's pissed, but it's a racial hatred, I think.
Our entire relationship starting off. So then he agreed to pay for the cat sitter so that it would be basically paying half the cost of my travels. And he did that once. And then never did it again, despite many more months of dating. And I was traveling often. I had to, because he was worried that we weren't spending enough quality time together. And then all of the time...
I believe everything she says personally. I don't think she's
to not spend it on me because there was an available choice.
It's all true.
And he chose not to spend it with me often.
Well, how could you not want to spend time with her? That's so fucked up. I fucking hate this guy.
Everything short of just up and move there, which I was willing to do the whole time. And I told him that I was willing to do it, and he knew, but he insisted that I don't.
Bro
he insisted
is not looking to marry you.
He was planning to move here. That was supposed to happen first.
Bro was not looking to marry you. Sorry, dog.
And then at the end of the relationship, he said maybe things would have been different if I lived there. If I lived there. Like I had said I would the whole time, and he insisted I don't. Maybe that could have saved the relationship.
Such stupid jokes, man.
And I say all of this because I believe that people like this are genuinely
it's so lowbrow, really,
dangerous.
isn't it?
I believe he is dangerous.
He's a cannibal.
He was willing to lie. He was willing to do harm to someone he claims to love more than
this guy's fucked.
Anyone he has ever loved. His actions escalated. And I don't think that I'll be the last person that he hurts.
Speak queen. Speak queen.
And I felt like sharing my story was really important.
Very dangerous guy. Seems like it. He's literally a cannibal.
I want people to see the signs that I refuse to.
Who will stop?
I want you to listen to your body.
Surely someone will stop Grimlow
Scrimlow
from his cannibalistic rampage.
And let them help you. I really thought I couldn't, because I had been sexually assaulted in a previous relationship, I just thought I was so much smarter to
You're not,
never.
Sorry, you
I was
are.
Like, if someone ever laid their hands on me, I'd leave immediately. It would never happen a second time.
Very brave.
But you just, it just kind of happened so slowly over time and got worse and worse and worse. Until the point where there's no way to deny the fact that he was hurting me and he knew and didn't care. That's just the kind of thing that I keep repeating to myself when I'm like, but was it bad enough? It wasn't violent enough. But I was being hurt multiple times every single day, days and days and days and days.
So I've had this up for a minute.
And I'm not even speaking on most, because I did touch on other things, but I am not even speaking on most of the other things that, in my opinion, I do think that there are some things that are across a line that make you a bad person. I don't think that most people can be defined in a black and white, you're good or you're bad. But I do believe that there's a line that you can cross, and only bad people will do the things on the other side of that line. You know what I mean? And number...
But was anything he did here really that crazy? Like kind of maybe pushing boundaries and pushing boundaries a little bit and being like a shitty boyfriend who just wants a bang maid. Like that's what the allegation is here, and that seems like not. It's not that crazy. That's not that insane.
Of I only cry now when I'm talking about my friends who.
I mean, he's an abusive piece of shit. He's an abusive piece of shit. I'm so sorry it's happened to you, Queen. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, dude. That guy fucking sucks, guys. I think let's take his career away. Someone contact this guy's sponsors right now. Someone get on that right now. Right now. I can't believe people are still supporting this guy. God, it makes me so angry. God. I'm just so angry.
Also dealt with such shitty things from shitty people. But I'm also so grateful for all of my friends who were through with me through this whole thing, and my friends who also were experiencing
I'm real mad now.
Similar sorts of situations at the same time, and we kind of went through it together. So I think they are the strongest people in the whole world, and they made me feel like the strongest people in the whole world today. Did I call myself people? I meant person. I feel like the strongest people... I did it again. I feel like the strongest person. They made me feel so...
She's so quirky and cute.
I felt impenetrable today. But I am going to go now because my friends are coming over.
Dude,
and
get me out. Get me out.
We're immediately going to go become distracted by watching Love is Blind. I already watched all of it already, and I don't care.
I would sit there and watch reality dating shows with you, Queen.
For listening. Thank you, everyone who gifted subs.
Kelly!
I am going to be taking the rest of the week off from streaming. I have a video going out on Saturday, and I'll be back next week. And you won't hear about any of this again for a while, probably. But thank you all. I don't really even know what to do now. I think I'm just going to end. Go spread love all over the place on Twitch right now, and I'll see you guys later.
Wow. I guess let's look at the rest of the materials here. So we got Wilbur Soot's apology for this whole problem here, this little biting incident, this little cannibalism incident, this little episode of Hannibal that he had. In the past week, a series of allegations have been made over my conduct from an ex-girlfriend. I want to emphasize that although I feel it fair to offer my perspective, this person's feelings are completely valid. I've taken my time sharing this statement as I wanted to process and respond respectfully, and with the hope to gain a deeper understanding for the situation. So this is like PR spin talk, this is all bullshit. I want to have a deeper understanding. I'm just trying to listen. I'm trying to listen and do better. Try to listen and do better. Why don't you say, this is what this guy should have done. He said, fuck you NB Twitter freaks. This bitch is lying on my name. She got a nasty shark jaw. And she's trying to bag watch. She's trying to stop me stacking that paper. Just say that, bro. Just say that. And I'll respect you a little bit. But no, you're a PR spinning, gay loser Minecraft YouTuber. And I'm glad that these people are eating you. I'm glad that you're being devoured in the same way you attempted to devour that poor young queen. During our relationship's final months, I regrettably became slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish. These actions caused a lot of pain to my ex-girlfriend, and I've since sought therapy to address these behaviours, making significant lifestyle changes to rectify my past actions. Hiring a maid, he means there. Hiring a maid. I've come to realise how much my past behaviour hurt this person, but I truly, compassionately believe I have made great strides from the person I once was, and hope I can continue to grow and improve on this trajectory. Okay. What else you got to say for yourself? I'm listening and learning. I'm sitting my white ass down. I'm listening and I'm learning. I just want to hear what the victims have to say and gain a deeper understanding. How about you K. Yeah? How about that? How about you D? How about you just D? How about you perish? The allegation of abuse, particularly in the form of biting, deeply shocked me. Throughout our relationship, I understood from our numerous conversations and text message exchanges on the subject that this behaviour was consensual, playful, and reciprocally enjoyed. I truly believe those personal message exchanges reflect mutual affection and understanding. Out of respect for her, I choose not to publish them, and I emphasise my perspective is not shared to diminish or invalidate anyone's feelings. Why? Retard, 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 retard. If you're right, drop the logs. If she's lying and you're right, drop the logs. What an idiot. What an idiot. Yeah, what were the PSIs on those bites? Instead, I share it in the hope that I can offer a genuine, fair, and relevant insight into my understanding of the situation. While I may perceive our interactions differently, I recognise that this person has processed and expressed feelings of hurt. I want to extend my sincerest apologies for any pain that I caused. I'm fully committed to understanding and addressing her concerns going forward. I hope my perspective sheds light on this situation without detracting from its message. I'm dedicated to earning and maintaining the trust of those around me, and I hope I continue to be held to these high standards I wish to attain and maintain. So this is just like, yeah, it's the most wretched, pathetic PR spin I've seen. It's like Homelander shit. I feel in love with the wrong woman. You know, it's just that. I've referenced that so much because it's just so good. Just PR spin bullshit. I've been to therapy, guys. I've been to therapy. Yeah, alright, dog. Alright, dog. There was actually something I wanted to see. Let's take let me just leave this here. Let's leave this here. Let's go on to the next piece of material here. Which is Dream's response. So I guess Wilbur Soot, I think he was part of the Dream SMP. Am I correct in believing that? Which is a survival multiplayer, is what SMP means. Server for Minecraft, where a bunch of YouTubers were allowed on. It was like Dream and all of Dream's friends. And it was a big place for content collaborations. I don't know how I know this, just purely through osmosis I picked all this up. It was a big place for content collaborations between Minecraft YouTubers so they could all appear on each other's channels. Yes, SMP is survival multiplayer. I thought it was for Sucks Mad Penis. Okay, Stylo. That's not funny. That's like... That is low IQ humor. Come on. It's lowbrow. That's not good. Dream SMP, bro. She said she withdrew consent using a safe word and that you frequently would intentionally bite down harder afterwards to the point she would scream. Even isolated from everything else, that is clearly abuse. While reading this, I was waiting to see you talk about that issue. To say anything at all. Only to finish reading and find out that you didn't acknowledge it once. I really don't understand how you thought this was accountability, or an apology, or even an informative statement. Well, he's saying that wasn't the case, right? Assumedly. He's saying that it was all consensual and all the text messages reflect that. So he's saying that's not the case. This did serve as confirmation she was talking about you, which I'm glad to have. Wilbur. This is like Mama Mac shit. Wilbur. You take accountability for being slobbish, disrespectful, and selfish. And it seems those are the things you acknowledge as past problems, while overshadowing the physically abusive actions and claiming to be completely reformed now. You seem to truly think you did nothing abusive, and this statement is built on that foundation. You're being dishonest with yourself or dishonest with us or both. You describe these acts as consensual without refuting her complete revocation of consent through your agreed upon safe word. A word set with the purpose of explicitly ending consent. She trusted you with this safe word as a boundary. You shattered that trust. I mean, well, he is refuting that, right? He's saying it was all consensual. He said it was all consensual. If he was acting outside the safe word that wasn't consensual, that would not be consensual. So he is refuting that. But there's no evidence either way. Therapy won't help if you seriously describe your abusive actions as playful, affectionate, and especially consensual. Your therapist can't read your mind and you're being dishonest. Well, you don't know that, do you? Shelby was afraid to say your name due to a dedicated audience, and this wasn't acknowledged either. As someone... Jesus Christ! As someone who has at times shared an audience with you, this is severely disappointing. She had reason to be afraid to say your name, but you shouldn't have been afraid to say hers. Shelby, I'm sorry you had to go through this. Oh my god, I'm sorry you got scared of public support. I know this gives you some hope in the world for good people. I'm sorry you'll forever be affected by this. As a victim of domestic violence, I was scared to ever speak out in fear of not being taken seriously or believed. It's incredibly encouraging to see so many people express an uplift. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too, bro. Yeah, Shelby, I agree with him. Yeah, Shelby, I agree with him. I agree with this guy. Yeah, Dream said it right. I agree with this guy. I agree with this guy. This guy's spitting. Except I mean it more. I mean it more. Times 10. Times 10. Times 10 that. Ah. I hope this serves as a reminder to everybody that at the end of the day, the community and creators are united when it comes to the most important things. The truth, what's right and wrong, but you don't know the truth. Speaking for those who can't, uplifting voice to those that might otherwise go unheard, standing up for what is right and speaking out against those that do wrong. Your story you told will help so many young people see through the toxicity and abuse before it's too late for them. Thank you for being brave. Amazing. Well said, Dream. Well said. Well said, Dream. You were spitting there for real. I said every dollar made from my last video would go to the Joyful Heart Foundation. Now feels like a good time to share the receipt from it. Wow. Aren't you such a great guy? Round of applause for Dream, everyone. Well done, dude. Well done. Good job, bro. Donating to charity. A millionaire donating 33 grand. Wow. One of the biggest YouTubers going. 33 grand. Well done, bro. Off of your last video. Just off of the last video. My hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear masks. Hey?